Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my living room. Another day, another thought. We're still in Luke 8. I'm finding it amazing, actually, just how rich each verse is as I'm actually stopping and thinking about it rather than just reading straight through. Each little incident, I'm actually stopping and thinking, Lord, is there something worth thinking about in these verses? But equally, one can say, why did God put it in if there wasn't something in it that was worth thinking about? So here we are in Luke 8, verses 19 to 21. And I will read them. Here it says, Then his mother and his brothers came to him, but they could not reach him because of the crowd. And he was told, Your mother and your brothers are standing outside, wanting to see you. But he said to them, My mother and my brothers are those who hear the word of God and do it. So it's a very simple little incident, and because it says he was told they're outside, we can infer from that he was teaching in a building of some kind. We don't know how big a building, but there were so many people there. There were so many crowds. Now, this is something to think about, isn't it? Because we've spent the last 5 months avoiding people and standing at a social distance from people. And so we have to remember what being in a crowd felt like. Think of a football stadium or, I don't know, I don't know, a crowd waiting, maybe a large crowd waiting for the carnival to go past or something. You're in a large group of people all crammed together, and his mother and his brothers couldn't get to him. So that's the first thing to say. Loads and loads of people spoke to Jesus and came to Jesus and listened to him. And it was difficult for his mother and his brothers to get to him. And then the second thing to think about here is that there are branches of the church that have insisted that Mary never had any more children, and that it was only Jesus. And that made her because she was so special, she didn't bear any other children. But we have no scriptural evidence to support that, no evidence to support that Joseph had any other children by any other woman. I'm sure that had he been married, as some people have said, he was married first to another woman and was a widower when he met Mary and married her. There is no suggestion of that in the gospel narrative. And here his mother Mary and his brothers came to him. And we don't know what they were going to say. We can't be certain this is exactly the same incident as the one reported in Mark and in Matthew, because the circumstances are slightly different. The timing of it is different. And I don't doubt that if they were constantly hearing stories about what he was getting up to, that there were more than once that they came to try and tame him or try and stop him causing such upset around the place. Oh dear. Anyway, so his mother and his brothers came. But the most amazing thing here is that Jesus said to the people, My mother and my brothers are those who hear the word of God and do it. Now all his parables have been about hearing the word of God and putting it into action, about building the right house, about living the right way, thinking the right things, following the teachings that make life better for all of us, hearing the word and doing it, and producing fruit like the seed, letting your light shine like the lamp. All these things are the same thing. They're all about our response to the word of God. And this is the amazing thing here, that Jesus places those who follow him and put his word into action closer than his own natural mother and brothers. They become his family. And this is a truth we need to think about, and it comes up quite a lot in the Gospels, that there are two kinds of family relationships. There is the natural family relationship that we have by blood with those who have brought us up and those who are siblings and children and grandchildren, the natural connections that we have. And they are important. But Jesus regarded those who followed him and were his disciples as closer to him than his natural family. And sometimes we don't get that balance right. Sometimes we think of our families as more important than the family of God. Probably all the time we do. Is this something to think about? It's something to think about. You know, Jesus said, how will people know? This is how people will know that you're my disciples. If you love one another, not if you love your family and care for your family. I know in the letters of Paul, he does tell people that it is a responsibility to care for your family, and that a good Christian would do that. A follower of Jesus would look after his family. Look how Jesus looked after his mother. He committed her to John's care when he was on the cross. So caring for the family is very good. But the natural family should not have preeminence over the unnatural family, the family of faith. We are part of the family of faith. We are related to each other by faith. And Jesus regards those who obey his word and follow him as his family, as close to him as his mother and his brothers. And that is a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful thing. And it is also very wonderful, and we've all experienced, I think, this. I hope you have. When we go on holiday, anywhere we go, Terry and I have often gone to Lanzarote. A bit difficult at the moment, all these travel restrictions that are going on. But we don't stop going to church because we're on holiday. We don't take a holiday from our faith. We're still as much following Jesus when we're on holiday as we are at home. And we go to a local church when we're on holiday. Always have done, always do. You know, and fellowship. And we find a link, an indescribable link with the people we meet, because they're family. All around the world, we have family, a supernatural family of God. And we recognise them, and we are linked with them in a mysterious and most wonderful way. And this is how Jesus sees you and me. But if we're following Jesus and we're seeking to put his word into action, we are closer to him than his mother or his brothers. It's a lovely thought. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.